Coach, a lot to highlight, obviously, from that performance, but your team's collective fourth quarter effort, just how impressed and proud of you of their performance in the fourth.
I couldn't be more proud. You know, we talk about the defensive end of the floor and what we want to do. I mean, that was about an elite fourth quarter that I've seen. Their communication, their switching, they're navigating the right situation offensively, keeping each other involved, understanding what the matchups were on the floor. I mean, you continue to ask for them to grow and learn and read different situations, and that's what they did, putting that together.
How big was Jonathan Isaac in that fourth quarter for you guys, just defensively and what he provided tonight?
Gigantic. I mean, his disruption on KD, switching out, being able to guard Book, being able to be at the rim, all of those things was what makes him, you know, an elite defender.
Physical was tonight from your perspective?
I thought it was very physical. I mean, our guys, but, you know, the great part about that is that our guys embraced it. I mean, there was a couple screens that we ran through. There was a lot of tags and pick and rolls that, you know, standing guys up early the right way. But again, it's got to be it's who we are. We've got to be physical and defend the right way and disrupt teams and not make it easy for them as they come on our home floor.
Coach, you guys had 43 points off the bench. Mo said to Dante just now, this is probably one of his worst shooting nights, though, but can you just talk a little bit about just how the bench was able to really come together and stand up and do what you guys needed to be done to get the win?
You know, I think they took on the challenge at halftime. It was you know, a little bit tricky in that first quarter on the back end. And they took on that challenge. You know, what Mo did, and I'm not worried about his shooting, what he did do was he gave us extra possessions on the offensive glass. And I don't think a lot of people realize how important that is for this team, getting extra possessions in a game like this, an elite scoring team, that you get extra possessions on the other end.
Coach, what's the energy like in the locker room after a win like this, and how do you plan on using that energy towards this road trip coming up?
Well, like we talked about this before the game. There has to be a sense of joy every time you touch this floor. There has to be a sense of togetherness and continue to push and pull for one another. That's who this group is, and that's what that locker room is, and that's who the Orlando Magic are. You know, they're a team that's going to continue to pull for one another, defend at a high level, and just continue to share and be together.
What does it say about the team that they were able to kind of stick to it and kind of grind their way to that defensive effort? You know, obviously Booker had the individual game that he had, but what does it say about the team that they were able to kind of stick to it and still defend at a high level, even with Booker making some of the shots he made?
Well, what you forced them into was a lot of tough twos. And, you know, the three-point line is where we've been getting hit, and we forced him into the tough contested twos with sometimes three hands over him. You know, you send a double team at him, he finds a way to get around it and beat it. You know, he's an elite scorer. They have three of them over there. And so our ability to defend one late without fouling, and then on the back end of it was just forcing the tough twos.
We saw it against Memphis, but having Anthony Black and Jonathan Isaac on the floor at the same time, like, how does that change things for you defensively?
Just their length, their basketball IQ, their willingness to fight over and under screens. I mean, there was a couple situations where they get into a side pick and roll. They switch it. You know, Anthony Black ends up on KD. Mo Wagner's on the baseline, ready to come across for the help. They throw the ball out of bounds. Just the length and the disruption and the deflection aspect of the game.
I know you want to enjoy this one since it just ended, 10, 15 minutes ago, but how do you try and replicate this and make sure that this carries over into another game tomorrow night with another difficult individual matchup in Luka?
I'm going to enjoy this for about one more hour till we get on the plane, then we'll start watching the Dallas film.
Thank you, Coach Mo.
Thank you, guys.